No. I told you I wanted decaf coffee. That means decaffeinated. So y'all gonna have to do something about this. Am I on? Oh, sorry. What's up, Rebecca? All right, I'm here at my office, the library, and I'm at the whiteboard. So here's what I'm thinking. Tell me what you think. One, I think we need to back up and we need to go back to ground zero, back to letter A, and we have to hash some things out, flesh some things out, and rehash some things as well, so that we can move forward again and solve some of the problems that have arisen. So, on this beautiful whiteboard, I've written down some ideas of like some main things that I think we have to do, and we got to do it together, or else it's one person figuring out the direction of the youth, and we don't want that. Definitely, we want co-leading, kind of you female, me male, and us kind of together, and we're gonna have to kind of figure out what that looks like exactly. But here are some things, and I'm gonna email you this as well so you can have it to refer to, and then we gotta get together again tonight or tomorrow or sometime. Maybe it's not important that we do it for this meeting, but and we gotta put our heads together and start crunching some things out. All right, so we need to come up with some core values for youth, for Common Ground, or come up with a different name, that's fine too, but core values, things that what we value the most as far as a youth group, and we need to know those very clearly. We need to come up with first a why. Why are we even doing this? Why are we doing youth ministry? Has God called us to it? Is it just a desire that's on our heart? Is it for other reasons? We need to decide the why. The why is always important. We need to come up with a big picture vision and an end goal. What's the destination we're moving towards? Do we want to say a win in youth ministry for us at Church of the Rockies is kids are fun. They have fun. That could be our end goal. I don't think it is, but so a vision. We need to be able to say very clearly what our vision is, and be able to have measurable ways to measure that. Objectives. So the vision is the what. Objectives are the how. How are we going to get to that destination that we see? How are we going to reach that vision, the end goal? What are the steps we're going to take? And those are the things that have to be measurable. It might be every week we include, students are exposed to 15 minutes of word, or 10 minutes of worship, or they're exposed to group prayer every week, or whatever it may be. Then we gotta hash out and brainstorm and put our heads together and think about the who. Who are some potential people within our community now that we think may have potential to add value to our youth group? Not just because they're our friends, not just because we like them, not just because they even are talented, but we just need to do that. And I want to do that together. So I'm going to have Joe actually hold off on coming until we move forward in this round. And then we need to include the when, or kind of what does a youth group night look like as far as order of events, certain things that we include. Do we have video every week? Do we have small group every week? Do we do where girls break off with you and do something, and boys break off with me and do something? What does a night look like? The schedule. And over here in the blue, which you can't see, this is going to be big, and we have to do it together because we need to put our heads together. We need to list out all of the responsibilities that we can think of that may even possibly be included in leading a youth ministry. All the responsibilities, getting food, pray, sermon prep, this, that, all of those things. And so then we can see them on paper in front of us, what everything that needs to be done. Then from there, we start to delegate and divvy them out between you and I based on what we love. Oh, I love bringing in food, or I love cooking, or I love doing singing, or whatever. That's the fun part, because now we can identify. That's me. I know that's not me. I don't do the cleanup, or I don't whatever. And then from there, that's where we start to identify other people who we say, so and so would be good at that. And then from that, we need to create clearly defined role or job descriptions and expectations. Just like at a job, just like we created those for children's ministry. Here's what a children's volunteer role looks like. Specifically, they do this, they show up at this, all of the details, but not overwhelming. Just so we are squared away on what our expectations are for me, for you, and for anyone else who comes a part of the team. And then the last few things are, we need to create a clear direction for our weekly meetings. We can't just be getting together and randomly, talking about, yes, we want to talk about life and we want to connect, because that's part of developing leadership in youth ministry, is we actually enjoy one another and know one another. So that's big. But we have to have a direction, like, okay, these are the things that need to get done in our meeting. Let's do them, and then in between, before and after, we can, joke, and we can get to know one another. How's week going? And maybe that's not important. Maybe that's not important to us, or to you, or to me. So we need to think about what do we value as far as happening in one of those meetings, and so that's that. And these are some things I think we need to do, you and I both have to do, in order for this to work. You have to get to know my heart as a leader, as someone who ministry-wise. You have to know, like, what makes Calvin tick. Calvin is all about prayer, or Calvin is all about imparting truth, or whatever. And I have to do the same for you. I have to know your heart, and it's not simply just asking, tell me what's on your heart, because sometimes we have a hard time explaining that. I have to listen to you, listen to your body language. I have to watch and observe and see how you interact, and see, oh man, I saw Rebecca, she lit up when she got to ask those questions, or when she got to sit over there with the girls only. Same with you. We can't be self-centered in this, or else it isn't going to work. We have to wait. We have to be patient with one another, patient with God as things develop, because we're both new at this. We don't have it figured out. And we got to have fun with one another. If we're not having fun and it's stressful and it's intense, it isn't going to work. So we have to be ourselves, and understand that the main responsibility is on God. He's the one who works. We just join him. So it isn't up to us to create everything. Seek God. We have to seek God, like on a real note. Like we pray, God. We have to seek him on our own in our individual lives, specifically for youth, for direction, for resources, for people, and for anything else. So we got to do that. And then the last things I'll say for this is, you and me have to be able to identify our needs. We have needs. We're not God. He doesn't need anything, but we do. In a friendship, in a partnership, there are needs we have to have met in order for it to work for us, and that's fine, and that's not selfish. So what does Rebecca need from me for this to work, for her, for you? What do you need from me for it to work? Because there are certain things. Calvin, I need you to back up and give me some space with whatever. Or I need you to be more clear about this or that. Needs are good, and we have them. We can't ignore them or neglect them, because that's when resentment, bitterness, and all that stuff comes. What do I need what does Calvin need from Rebecca for this to work? Rebecca, I need you to be very clear about da-da-da-da-da. Rebecca, I need you to understand that whatever, that I'm the best and you're not. Just playing. I need you to understand that I get cold, so I'm wearing my winter hat and my coat in the house. We got to turn the heat up at when we go to the Birches. Okay, you get the point. All right. And we can't be afraid to fail and to mess up and to risk. If we're afraid to fail, we're not going to risk. If we want to create, if we want to add value to not only our church through youth, but to our city, to our state, to the nation, and to the world through our youth group, God can do that if that's His purpose for our for what He wants to do with us. He can do that, but we have to say, what can we do to add value that's not already there as far as young people, youth ministry goes. So with that being said, we got to risk. We got to try new things that other youth people haven't tried. We have to, whatever, and we're going to fail. We got to realize that. We're going to fail, and it's going to hurt. Can't avoid the pain. There's going to be times where we're going to be angry at each other. There's going to be times where it's like, it's not worth it. You know, we talked about he didn't change or she didn't change. Look, that's just part of how it goes. And sorry to break it to your sister, but I can't please you permanently. I can't please you, and you can't please me fully. So we got to be willing to work through the difficulties, you know. So anyway, those are the things that I think we have to do ASAP. Even